Excuse me. Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. And we're going to talk about Dynamite, November 8th, 2023. Tony Tad's Excalibur on commentary. We're in Portland, Oregon, and we started off with MJF backstage with Tony. He says, oh my gosh, he's like, they call him, what's up, you piece of shit, or fat piece of shit. I don't know. It was MJF being MJF. And, you know, he hears his phone ringing. It's Adam Cole, baby, he calls him. And, you know, they get on the video screen and everything like that. And he's like, hey, man, you need to be careful. You should take Samoa Joe on his offer to help, you know, fight, you know, to help defend our Ring of Honor championships. He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. So now we're playing all these angles of like, who is the devil? Who is the devil? Why would Adam Cole suggest that he takes, it's like a double-edged sword. Like, yeah, have Joe help defend those championships, but on the turn side of that, you know, he's going to have an opportunity to face you for your championship. So it's just like, And, you know, there's this thing going around, Britt Baker being the devil. She's doing the Adam Cole's bidding. And I don't know if I'm a fan of that. Really not. I don't know. It's just one of those things that it could play out really cool. It could. Like I said, I don't know. Like, I like the theory, but I also have other theories in my head that I feel like would be cool as well. You know, and here comes Daniel Garcia, because MJF took his challenge for the AEW World Championship, and Daddy Magic and Cool Hand, and they show him. And MJF asks him, like, are you going to be a sports entertainer, or are you going to be a professional wrestler? Daniel says, I'm going to be a professional wrestler. And, you know, MJF's like, all right, I'm out of here. I got, you know, and then here it comes, because Roderick came in, the Kingdom, and Roderick's like, I was a legend in this business. He's like, yeah, you were. Now you're nothing. You're a joke. And that's when MJF leaves. And Roderick, you know, I love that. Adam! You know, they're trying to talk to Adam on the screen, and Adam's like, no. But he says, see, this is what I was saying about the devil. The devil, the devil, the devil. And we get a glimpse of the devil. Then hit the credits. Dynamite intro. Here we go. We started it off with the AEW World Championship. MJF versus Daniel Garcia. This was a fun match. But MJF retains that championship that he still does not have. So tonight was the night I was like, ugh. I'm hoping, I'm praying that he gets back that championship, because after he does the big win and everything like that, you know, he tries to shake Daniel Garcia's hand. But Daddy Magic and Cool Hand are not having it and everything. And MJ is screaming at them. He's like, "Is that what you want? You want to be held back? You know, you could be a generational talent as well, but you're being held back by these bozos." And you know, they would not let Daniel Garcia shake MJF's hand. So we're probably gonna see the falling out with all of them soon. But MJF, as he's celebrating his victory, looks into the camera and says, MJF, and he calls out Jay White and says, I'm coming to get you. You best believe it, man. I'm coming to get you my championship back. So then we have a Mark and Jay White package, because the main event is Mark Briscoe versus Jay White. We got Sting and Darby in a tag team match versus the Outrunners. What do you think is going to happen? Sting and Darby for the win. Nothing crazy. That first match was great, though. I'm talking about MJF versus Daniel Garcia. Tony is backstage, contract signing with Tony Storm and Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's Championship that's going to be at Full Gear. Tony being Tony Storm, you know. I like the thread of story she's telling her. She's like, yeah, I wanted to be champion, and you took the championship away. I wanted to be a 3-time champion, and that's what you took that away as well. So, you know, it's personal on that level. We get tits out, you know, watch out for the shoe and everything. But Hikaru Shida wasn't playing. She knocks the shoe out of Tony Storm's hand, and we have a contract, and Tony Storm signed it, and Shida signed it, and we're ready to go. Next up is Penta versus Swerve Strickland. Whose house? With Prince Nana doing that beautiful dance. This was a good match. I knew this was going to be one of my favorites of tonight, and it definitely delivered. And I like I think Swerve is getting to the point of like he's getting that god level of he needs to get a championship opportunity or a championship run, because I'm like, every time I see Swerve wrestle, every promo, everything, I'm just like, man, that's $1 million right there. That's money in this dude right here, Swerve. And I'm very sad that WWE had to let him go. Yeah, like out of all of Hit Row, that the money, it was right there with Swerve, and he's showing it right now. Here comes Hangman Adam Page. You know, after such a great match, Swerve won. They started fighting, attacking, and everything like that. And Hangman got the upper hand here, hit him with the chair, then put him through a table, and left. And he just left Swerve Strickland there because they have their big match at Full Gear. Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland 2. I tell everybody that first match between these two, whoa, is a banger. So that the fact we're gonna get round 2, I think round 2 is gonna be one of those ones where Hangman gets the win, and then we have the rubber match. So I'm hoping so, a trilogy, if you will. And the first match was great. Alex is backstage with Bullet Club Gold. They cut their promo. You know, Jay's got the championship, and they're, you know, Jay White's got the championship still, guns up and everything like that. Everything the Bang Bang Gang can say. We got a Don Callis family and a video game they're promoting, Like a Dragon something, you know. But next up this one was interesting. The Golden Jets. Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Ibushi and Paul White will go against the Don Callis family, I believe next week, and the Young Bucks come in and they're like, oh, this is so cute. This little team, the Golden Elite, the Golden Jets, you probably came up with that, right? Jericho, remember the Elite, the ones that started this place? And I felt like there was some good burns here, because he goes, yeah, remember we started this revolution and you just waltzed right on in to get a big check, Jericho. And there's some truth to that, because when Jericho went to AEW, it was a big fucking deal. Because it was like, oh my God, he was a WWE guy. He was always a WWE guy. We never see him wrestle inside. He did I remember when he did the New Japan stuff, it was like, oh my God, we could do this? And that was at that point of like, what is going on? And he's been with the company for over the 4 years. He's been there since the beginning. When he announced that he is all elite, it was huge. But it all did start with Cody, Kenny, Hangman, the Bucks, the All-In pay-per-view. Yes, Jericho made his debut there as well, the surprise attack and everything like that, But I really felt there was some truth in that statement by the Bucks. And then Kenny goes, yeah, by being spoiled little brats and stuff like that, we're gonna kick your asses. And so at Full Gear, we'll get the Golden Jets versus the Young Bucks. And if the Golden Jets win, the Young Bucks have to give them their title opportunity for the All Elite Tag Team Championships. Or if the Young Bucks win, this Golden Jets thing is kaput. It's done. It's in the dirt, and they get back to being the Elite. So I am very, very curious about that match at Full Gear next Saturday. And I was very curious too, because it was like, Collision's going to still go on? Because that just seems like AEW's competing with itself. It's like Full Gear is probably going to get the most views, but are they going to have a Collision next week? They most likely, right? We shall see, unless they put Collision on Friday and not do Rampage or something this week, just because you got the pay-per-view. Like, I don't see Collision going on the same time as Full Gear. So it's going to be very interesting how that plays out. I should look at the TV. I should look at the TV guide. Is there TV guide still? Can I pull out an old TV guide, folks? Because back in the day, you had a TV guide that would show you the week's programming. And there would be some really cool collectible covers. They should bring back TV guides. Let's do an all elite TV guide, huh? All right. Now, the Ring of Honor Television Championship is on the line. Samoa Joe versus Keith Lee. This match was good. It was what I expected. Two big, meaty men going at it, but Samoa Joe got the win. And the match, like I said, the match was good for what it was. I knew what was going to happen. Samoa Joe got him. Samoa Joe got that ass. But he did something that I did not see coming. He vacates the Ring of Honor Television Championship, the longest reigning Ring of Honor television champion, and he vacates it and says the next gold that's going around my shoulder is the AEW World Championship. And so he leaves that title in the middle of the ring, and I'm like, oh man, this is interesting. Like, he vacates that title, and also too, it makes me sad for Ring of Honor itself, because I think it was Bully Ray said on the Busted Open podcast, he's like, what is Ring of Honor? You know, Tony bought it back in March, and yeah, they've had their pay-per-views, and they got their little weekly show, which I was covering for the most part, but it was just becoming too much, and it was just like, there were certain developments I was seeing that were really cool, and it's just, you know, now Eddie Kingston, we haven't seen Eddie Kingston. He's our Ring of Honor World Champion, you know, and they've been cross-promoting it back and forth. You know, we got Final Battle coming up, but what is Ring of Honor? And, you know, it's just one of those questions in my head, because I love, like, Ring of Honor has such a rich history. And I remember when Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, and everybody's like, oh, praise the gods, WWE's not going to ruin the legacy of Ring of Honor. Well, what's Tony doing? Like, yeah, he's showcasing. You just had someone vacate it, because it's like, yeah, it's not important to me anymore. I'm on this show, so I'm going after the AEW championship. I don't need no Ring of Honor championship, you know, and then be second rate on some streaming, you know, platform or whatever. And I know they're going into streaming here next year, and we're going to get more pay-per-views and stuff like that. I think it's going to be attached to Max. It's going to be like a little sub thing called AEW Plus. You know, we'll have these pay-per-views and everything going on. And I think that, like, Joe vacating that title is a sign of, like, yeah, Ring of Honor, whatever. Because, you know, and it's like the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships haven't been defended, because I know Adam Cole had to go on to go get surgery and everything like that. And MJF's been trying to hold down the fort, and he's putting up those Ring of Honor Championships. So I think at a certain point, I don't want to, but I think the Ring of Honor Championship should just not really be showcased on AEW television. You really want to build your brand for Ring of Honor, then fucking have Ring of Honor be something to talk about. Because there were some great episodes when they relaunched the weekly shows. There were some really great episodes. And if you go back, and I was all gun-ho for these weekly shows. The only reason I stopped watching Ring of Honor, because my weeks were becoming way too much. Because, you know, I had Monday Night Raw on Monday, then Tuesday I had NXT, Wednesday's Dynamite, then Thursday's Ring of Honor, then Friday was Rampage and SmackDown, and then they added Collision, that added another day. Then, of course, you know, the pay-per-views and everything that collided, it burned me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. And yes, this is an ever-evolving thing with professional fucking wrestling. There's something always going on, you know, and you want to be in the loop as best as possible. I've seen, you know, podcasts started up, they talk about certain subjects, and it's a lot. But you just got to stick with it. And that's the only reason I put down. Do I still tune in from time to time to see what's going on in Ring of Honor? Of course. Because there's still some talent there that I feel that need to come up to the main roster. Kiera Hogan's one of them. She is a badass. Athena, where the fuck is Athena? Like, Athena should be on the main AEW fucking roster. God, you know, so I don't know, unless she's hurt, I could check into that. Like, is she still the you know what? Where's I don't have my computer. Never mind. You know, drop those comments below. Where is Athena? Is she still the Ring of Honor World Champion? Is like, because I've been peeking in, but I haven't been peeking in, if you know what I'm saying. Huh? But there we go. Samoa Joe has vacated the Ring of Honor Championship, is now on the war path to get the AEW World Championship. We have Orange Hook backstage promo, cuts on Moxley because they're going to have their big match at Full Gear. You know, Orange cutting it as best as possible and being as serious as possible. Hook's just there. We got the Guns versus the Bollywood Boys. Who do you think's going to win? The Guns. Promo afterwards by the Guns, you know, and they, you know, they cut their promo saying they're going to take those Ring of Honor championships and there's going to be around their waist and everything like that. Then MJF is watching on, and here comes Joe. Joe's just like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And then MJF's like in frustration just walks off because that's there, and you know he's going to pull that trigger. I just have that feeling it's going to happen. Then we get Mox promo with Yuta just staring at him. I want somebody to stare at me like how Yuta was staring at Moxley during this promo. Wardlow package. He's coming after MJF. He's coming after the devil, as he says. Next up, we had Red Velvet versus Julia Hart. And, God, it's her birthday. Happy birthday to Julia Hart. Well, today's not her birthday, but Dynamite was her birthday. Yeah, you get it. But Julia Hart's theme music, though, that shit goes hard. That shit goes hard with an H. I said it, hard. Julia Hart, like, I had that song stuck in my head. I was like, and I was like, you know what? I just need to add it to my playlist of wrestling themes, and because I really like Julia Hart's theme. She faces Red Velvet, beats Red Velvet. Then, of course, here comes Sky. Is she gonna spit the mist? It's a little bit of a stalemate. Like Julia Hart's just looking at her, and there's something in Sky's mouth. You could tell, because if you see, like, there's a certain point where the camera's pointing at her, she's like holding like something in her mouth, and the mist was not used in this moment. I was like, okay, then here comes Chris, here comes Willow, because Julia Hart attacked Red Velvet, and Sky came out for the save, but did she? Then here comes Chris and Willow. I was like, all right, this is where Sky Blue spits the mist in Chris's face, and this is the heel turn I'm waiting for, right? Right? Anybody? Crickets. No. Yeah. I was like, huh. Okay, sure. RJ's backstage with Maria May. She is all elite. Good for her. She went to Japan. Now she's here. She said it all thanks to Tony Storm. So, main event, Mark Briscoe versus Jay White. And he still has the championship. This was a fun match, hard-hitting. You got that redneck kung fu. Jay White got the win, though. And then all I was waiting for was like, all right, we got some time left. And, I'm getting really sick and fucking tired of when I hear Tony go, and Tony Khan says we're gonna stick with this as long as possible, and it never fucking happens. Even if we had to go over TV time, you're not going over TV time. So stop saying that. You just had the ring announcer come down and say TV time remaining. This match goes blah blah, the time limit or TV time remaining, and then automatically here comes Tony. And I just got word from Tony. He says we're staying with this as long as possible. No, it's not gonna go over. But Mark Briscoe versus Jay White, great match. Jay White for the win. Then here comes MJF, and I'm like, fucking finally, get your championship back, right? Crickets. Did not get his championship back. And I was just like, okay, so the payoff is not going to be until Full Gear when you get it. He's had that championship since October 4th, I believe the 4th anniversary show. If I'm right, he's taken that championship, and I felt like he only should have had it for a couple weeks, but he's taken it all the way to Full Gear, so MJF can win it. I'm not a big fan of that. Like, I love Bang Bang Gang, but I'm not a big fan of him holding that championship for that long. He got it for a couple weeks, but then MJF, like him taking on Kenny Omega for the championship, and the championship wasn't there on Collision. It's I think it's gone long enough. And I was hoping tonight he got the championship back because he popped, Juice and the Guns with the ring. And I was like, all right, here we go. He's getting it. Oh, wow, fuck. And he cuts a great promo, as he does. He cuts a great promo and says, I'm their scumbag. I'm fighting for the people watching. I'm fighting for everybody in here. I'm fighting for everybody I can because I'm their scumbag. And the lights go out. The devil has made an attack on the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass backstage. Bowens went through some glass. Pow! Cinematically, just gorgeous. But man, a beatdown indeed, and the devil showing the face. So I was like, who's the devil? Who? MJF. The lights come back on. MJF is like, oh shit, what just happened? It can't be MJF, right? Because he was in the ring when this happened. So he jumps out. He runs back there to go check on the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, and they're all, devastatedly, like, oh, body here, body there, devastation, glass everywhere. MJF puts his hands on his head. Great acting. He's like, oh my God, like anybody that's helping MJF is gonna the devil's gonna attack. But that also goes into, if the devil is attacking people that help MJF, why did they attack Jay White? to start this whole devil conversation. So there's so many angles this fucking thing is like working its way, into my brain. I think about this at work and I'm like, oh, the devil. Everyone's like, what's wrong with, what are you talking about, the devil? I was like, the devil in AEW. Who is the devil? Who I want to know. Who took MJF's mask? Or is it MJF pulling the biggest fucking swerve on us? And then out of nowhere, here comes Joe. And Joe's like, hey, yo, shit, what happened here? He just comes like nonchalant, he's like, hey, well, yeah, remember my offer, huh? Then I was like, whoa, what if it is Joe? What if Joe orchestrated this whole fucking thing? I know the Britt Baker thing's on there, but what if Joe, orchestrated all this shit? And then all of a sudden, my brain started going. I was like, what if he reforms the Main Event Mafia and all this, that, because I know he was a member later on, and Kurt Angle started the whole thing. And I like the name Main Event Mafia, but I was thinking all that, and I don't know if TNA owns that. I mean, yeah, they're going back to being total nonstop action wrestling, so that's pretty cool. I want to see that launch. And I'm hearing some great things in Impact. What am I talking about? Yes, so my brain was going all over about the devil. Now when I'm going to be at work, I'm going to be like, Joe, the devil, Joe, the Samoan devil. Oh, so many angles. That's how we end the show. That's it. That's all. I honestly felt like this was a damn good show. I 5 out of 5 for me on this one. Got my brain thinking. Got some good television. Makes me want to tune in. We'll see what happens on Collision or even Rampage. And then we got Full Gear coming up next week. A lot of stuff going on, man. I say the Golden Jets and Young Bucks thing was very interesting, like some shots taken, and Jericho's little, I have my own locker room, pinkies up, so a lot of truth was said. Favorite match of the night, I gotta say it was MJF versus Daniel Garcia. No, I take that back. As much as I love MJF, I'm as much of as a mark I am. The Penta versus Swerve Strickland match was my match of the night. Second is MJF and Daniel Garcia. Next up to that would probably be Mark Briscoe and Jay White. But overall, great show. 5 out of 5. I had fun. Now let's get on to Rampage, Collision, SmackDown, Full Gear, all of it, baby. We got Survivor Series still coming up, so let's go, then! All right, y'all. Like and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with the bum down at Walmart. I am K&B, the Sexy Ninja. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get yourself that sweet nWp logo. And to sweet me, I want to see them at the shows. And as the numbers rise, it makes this worth it every time. And the love and feedback I get from y'all is incredible. And now the dumpster man's outside making noises. God damn it. I'm trying to record here. All right, y'all. And remember, the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Anthony Bowens. Oh! These masked assailants. What is going on here?
God, that's Anthony Bowens there.